Hey, it's your tutor Courtney Waterman, lover of anime, manga, and math. And this is another session of Tutor Me Senpai. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Courtney, and this is another session of Tutor Me Senpai. Today we're going to be jumping into a familiar 7th grade topic, dealing with percentages. Except this time, we're going to be looking at calculating markdowns and markups, or just calculating discounts and price hikes. They mean the same thing. Before we get started, I will let you know that if you have any questions about what we go over here, or even some of your own homework, feel free to leave it in the comment box, or you can find me on Facebook at Tutor Me Senpai. That's Tutor Me Senpai with an M. I'll leave a link to my Facebook page below in the description box. Alright, without further ado, let's jump into our question for today. So our question for today says, Tommy saw the shirt he wants to buy on sale for 35% off. If the shirt normally costs $45, how much money will Tommy pay for it? So once again, Tommy saw a shirt he wants to buy on sale for 35% off. If the shirt normally costs $45, how much money will Tommy pay for it? So the first thing I'd like to do when we're solving these word problems is to figure out exactly what they gave us. So Tommy has a shirt that he wants to buy. So we're going to call this shirt S. And we know that it originally cost $45, right? And we also know it was on sale for 35% off. So we're going to call this M for markdown. Okay? So it's been marked down by 35%. Okay? We want to find out the final amount that Tommy pays. So if you saw my last video on percentages in which we calculated sales tax, I don't want you to get confused here. We're not going to be dealing with tax at all. We're going to be finding the total amount before taxes, okay? So excluding taxes, what is the final amount before taxes that Tommy will have to pay for this shirt if it's been marked down by 35%? So let me give you an equation that we can use to find a final amount when we have the markdown and the original cost of the item. So final amount is going to be the cost of the item, in this case, is going to be the shirt, plus or minus the markdown amount times the cost of the item, in this case, this shirt. So once again, this says the final amount that Tommy is going to have to pay is going to be the cost of the shirt plus or minus the markdown times the cost of the shirt. Now I wrote this plus or minus here is because this M could be a markdown or a markup. I wanted to give you a general formula to remember, but whenever it's a mark down, right, that means we're going to be subtracting from the original price. Whenever it's a mark up, we're going to be adding to the original price. So when it's a mark down, we don't worry about this addition up here. Because a mark down means we're getting it for cheaper. That means whatever the original cost was, we're going to get something less at the end of the day, right? We're going to subtract something to get a lower value as our final amount. If it was marked up, if it was a price hike, then it'll be an addition here instead of a subtraction, and we'll get something higher than the original cost when we have our final amount paid. So what that looks like is FA, final amount, equals the cost of the shirt of $45 minus M, which is 35%, but we're going to convert that to a decimal because we can't really work with percentages. And whenever we convert this to a decimal, we're going to move it over 2 spaces, right, to the left, and then multiply that by 45 again, right? Because this is the M, the markdown, and this is the original cost of the shirt, right? So you get all of that here. We're keeping the subtraction because this is a mark down, not a mark up. A discount, not a price hike. And once again, the cost of the shirt. So what is this 0.35 times 45? So let's find that out here. Right? So 5, you get the 25 there, 22, right? 3 times 5, you get that 15 here. Then that's 12, so that's 13, right? And then this is 5, 7, 5, 1. All right, and we have 2 decimal places. Cool. So we know that 45 times 0.35 gives us a 1575, all right? Now the reason why we're going to be working in this formula is because we don't want to stop prematurely with just this amount here. Now you might think, if once you do this math, oh, this is my answer, especially if you're working really fast. But I want you to take your time and realize this is just one part. If you don't have this formula that you're working with, you might get fooled into thinking this is your final answer. This is how much Tommy pays. But this is just how much the discount is when we're going to subtract it from our original cost for the shirt. All right? So we'll bring down this 45. And let's get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. So now we have this 45, and we're going to subtract $15.75 from it, right? So what's 45 minus 15.75? $29.25. So this tells us that the final amount that Tommy is going to have to pay for this shirt after the markdown of 35% is $29.25. And if we flash back to our question briefly, we'll see that $29.25 is actually D. So the answer to our question is going to be D, $29.25. Great job, everybody. And that concludes another session of Tutor Me Senpai. Today, we figured out how to use percentages in determining markdowns and markups. Well, in this case, we did a markdown of 35% for Tommy's shirt. If you had any questions about what we went over today, leave them in the comment box. Or once again, visit me on Facebook at Tutor Me Senpai with an M, or visit the link in the description box below. It'll take you straight there. If you or your friends have any homework you would like to see here, then once again, let me know by visiting me on Facebook, and you can tell me all about the homework that you would like help with. If you found this video helpful, why don't you leave a like? Why don't you hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you know exactly when I drop my next video. Well, that wraps up our session for today. If you have any questions, once again, you can find me on Facebook at Tutor Me Senpai with an M. I really hope this helped with your homework, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. I'm Courtney, and this is another session of Tutor Me Senpai.